welcome to a night in the Haven. I am so excited to be here with you on tonight, and I have a truly special guest on tonight with us. As always, our mission is to encourage, uplift, and inspire our caregivers regarding everyday issues of life. And I am so looking forward to tonight with sharing with you a different type of caregiver. Tonight we have Evangelist Ruseena Saunders, Coach Ruseena Johnson. I say Ruseena Saunders, but it's Saunders Johnson. And she's been married for a long time. She's my daughter, of course. You probably figured this out. But I say Johnsons and I say Saunders, but no harm intent. It's Ruseena Johnson, and she's here tonight to join us. She has a very special position that she assists in, and we're going to talk about it tonight. Rosina is a doula. And if you're anything like me, I didn't know a whole lot about doulas until Rosina started working as a doula. A doula is an expecting mother's dream. Okay? A doula gives continuous non medical support before, during, and sometimes after childbirth. Some will find the doula their right hand. So you do not have to navigate the experience of feeling alone when you're expecting. You want a doula. They complement the doctors or the midwives, and they do not replace the clinical care at all. Welcome to the Haven, Coach Ruseena. How are you? Are you muted?
Hello, I am
Hello, I
doing
am
well.
doing
Thanks for
well.
having
Thanks for
me.
having me. Wow. Well, I tell you what, we're super excited to have you here in the Haven tonight. It's not often that we have someone in your capacity in the Haven, but you are a very special type of caregiver, and we want to know everything that we can know tonight. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Can you hear me okay? You kind of froze. Your screen just kind of froze. Can you hear me, Rosina?
I can hear you.
I can hear
Yeah, for
you.
some reason my
Oh,
screen is
okay.
locking
You're
up.
for
I'm
some reason my
sorry.
screen is locking up. Yeah, it's moving a tad bit slow. But I wanted you to start off by you sharing a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Rosina. Your screen froze again.
Let me see
Rosina.
if I
Let me
can
see if I
figure
can
out.
figure out.
It says it's a
It
strong
says it's a strong
connection. I do
connection. I do
apologize.
apologize. It's okay. Things happen. We definitely know that here in the Haven that sometimes things happen, especially when we're dealing with different types of technology. So we'll give you a few minutes here. Um, can you say something now, Rosina?
All right, can you hear
All
me
right, can
now?
you hear me now? Yes, I can. I can hear you very well now. Yay, wonderful. Okay, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Awesome.
Awesome.
So I'm a mother of
So I'm a mother
four.
of four.
Um,
Um,
I
I
my first
my
kid, I
first
didn't
kid, I
know
didn't
much
know
about what a
much
doula
about what a
was,
doula was,
midwife,
midwife,
natural birth,
natural
any of
birth,
that.
any of that.
But
But
by the time I
by the
was
time
having
I
my
was
second
having my
child,
second
I had
child, I had
been
been
connected to a
connected
doula. And
to a
by the time I
doula.
had
And by
my
the time I
third
had
child,
my
I was
third child,
certified
I
as
was
a doula.
certified as a doula.
By the time I had
By the
my
time I
fourth
had
child,
my
I
fourth
was
child,
my
I
own
was
doula.
my own doula.
So
So
I have a bit of
I have a bit of
experience in the
experience
doula
in the
world. I
doula
have
world.
two
I have
doula
two
mentors
doula
that are
mentors that
very
are very
awesome.
awesome.
They have great
They have
business
great business
models. One leans
models.
more
One
into the
leans more
faith
into the
based
faith-based
community, which is
community,
closer
which
to
is
my
closer to
niche, and
my
the
niche,
other
and the other
it's
it's
just
just
everything you could think
everything you
of,
could think of,
from lactation
from lactation
consulting to
consulting to
placenta
placenta
encapsulation
encapsulation
to
to
expanding your
expanding your
business into
business into
other
other
territories. So I
territories.
keep
So I
both of
keep both
them
of
on
them
speed
on
dial,
speed dial
because you can
because you can
never stop
never stop
learning,
learning
in any
in any
field,
field,
especially in birth
especially in
work. The
birth work.
laws
The laws
change
change
constantly.
constantly.
But yes,
But yes,
so
so
that's a little bit
that's a
about
little bit
me.
about
I've
me.
been
I've
working
been
as
working as
certified as a
certified as
doula
a doula
since
since
we're gonna say 2014. So it's been a little while, and I have worked with a few different clients, and it's every experience is different. Just like we tell our moms, every birth is different. Every birth is so very different. I had the privilege of working with one mom for two of her children, and the birth experience was so different with one mom and two kids. So every experience is different. You can't say, "Well, I've given birth before. I know what to expect." Mm-mm. And then that for every birth experience was very different. So I'll stop and let you get into your questions.
Excellent, Rosina, because I that's what I wanted to know. How in the world did you become a doula? I mean, what provoked you to be a doula? You kind of shared some of it, but that's not an everyday thing that, people do, position.
So with my first child, we were doing childbirth education, and towards the end of childbirth education, I ran into a doula. But in my pregnancy term, she said she couldn't work with us just yet. So I was like, okay. And because that particular birth didn't really go as expected, there was a bit of frustration, there was some lingering side effects. It was like, this won't happen again. So I continued gaining information and happened upon one of the ladies that I don't even know if I met her on Facebook or where I found her. But my doula mentor that trained me is Nakia Lawson. She is currently the Dona International president. Dona International is one of the lead organizations that is known in North America for training and certifying doulas. So I found her, and it was a godsend about the process. Like everybody should know, go into the process as informed as possible. And it pretty much started with me wanting to know, and then that mama bear, I don't want anybody else to go through what I went through.
Oh, wow. That is excellent because when you do have challenges at childbirth, it's very important to, to have someone to help you. And we know, especially amongst African American women, there are issues when it comes to childbirth and childbirth survival for the parent and the mother and the child. So tell me, how would you explain the role of a doula? Someone who has never, like me, I knew a little bit about it, but didn't really hear a lot about it. So how would you explain that role to someone who's not familiar with it, who's never heard of a doula?
So it depends which doula you get. I work as a birth and labor support doula. There's also postpartum doulas. There's so many different doulas out there. I found out like a few years ago, there's a death doula. There are people that help you when you have a miscarriage. Not everybody is trained in how to deal with that. So it's a specialty. But yes, for me, I do birth and labor support. So I will help during your prenatal, perinatal, and postnatal journey. So while you're pregnant and just for a short period of time after you're pregnant, I try to provide as much information as possible to prepare you for postpartum because that's the part that a lot of people forget about. You have so much support while you're pregnant, and then when you get into labor and delivery, you're kind of there, and it's like, does anybody have any suggestions, any help? We trust our doctors, but it's still always a little bit more that you can know, and sometimes the medical terms are foreign to us. Did I answer your
Okay.
question? I'm sorry, you kind of stopped. Pause up.
Yeah, I was thinking you had more. You were saying more, so I was waiting. I said, "Oh no, the screen froze again." Thank you very much, because a lot of the times the medical terminology is foreign to us. At the time when I was having my children, I would have never thought about a doula. I know people had them. I would have never thought about it. And there were a lot of times where, there were misconceptions. The doctor says one thing, you're thinking something else. And I think that's so wonderful about a doula. You're that in between, that person that connects the pieces and make it make sense. So, you had mentioned about the different types of doulas, and that was one of the questions I was going to ask you. What was the difference between a birth doula, a postpartum doula, a midwife, and a medical provider? Because a lot of people are now using midwives. My mom used a midwife, but it was common back then. But now more people are coming forward with midwives. Share that with us.
For sure. So a birth doula or postpartum doula is more of a support person. While we have a lot of medical knowledge, we are not permitted to deliver your baby. So that's where you go to your midwife or to your medical professional. And we always refer you back to your midwife or your medical professional. We can give you all of the information about support during birth and the questions to ask. And we have knowledge about many of the topics you may ask about, but when it comes to the medical stuff, like the pure medical, it's going to be your midwife or your or your medical provider. And just a little bit of backstory: midwives were very common for generations, and then it's almost like there was a time where we're tired of being used. We don't want to do this. And now you have to be certified, and the laws changed and it kind of started phasing out. So midwife returned almost as an act of rebellion because no, I know my body and I want a midwife that's going to, associate with my body and ask all the questions about my body, not just the labor and delivery, but kind of connect the pieces together. There's If you all want to do a deep dive, you can, spend days researching the backstory on midwifery, especially in the African American community. But yes, I believe one of my grandmothers was a midwife and helped deliver a couple of children.
Um, Evangelist Ruseena, she has several hats. I'll say Coach Ruseena, I'll say Evangelist Ruseena. I'm gonna ask you to slow down just a little bit, just a little bit. So, what are some common misconceptions that people have about doulas? Because, like you said, sometimes there's some misconceptions there. Share with us some common misconceptions about doulas.
Unfortunately, a lot of people see doulas and they think of witchcraft. Because some of the more popular doulas are saging the room. They're doing things that don't necessarily line up with Christian practices and principles. And because of that, people avoid doulas and they don't get the support that's right there and available. And then some people believe that doulas can deliver the baby. Some people believe that doulas are there to take over. There are people in the medical profession, so that are in the hospital that you're coming in, they do not want your doula to come in because they don't want the doula to come in and just be renegade and take over. Um, just common just misconceptions is that the doula is gonna come and take over, or the doula is gonna come to my house and deliver my baby,
Yeah.
or just different things that people believe that is beyond the doula's capacity and beyond their scope. Now, I'll be honest, there are some doulas that are rogue, will try to take over. So it's very important to interview your doula, to also speak with your medical provider and make sure that they're okay with you having a doula on site with you during labor and delivery.
Okay. That is really good for us to understand there that it is very good to have them with you doing labor and delivery. I know I've seen you in action a couple of times, Coach Christina, and it was definitely excited. You all, she comes in and she evaluates, and I can see why they would be intimidated. I can see why the nurses and the doctors would be a little bit intimidated because Ruseena, when I've seen her in action with one of my daughter's birth, and they come in and they are evaluating everything that's going on in that labor and delivery room. I was watching her. She was watching the monitors. Then she's watching the mother. Then she's watching how the midwife reacts. And it was very interesting. So I can see how it can be a little bit intimidating to the medical staff there. But you were so on top of your game that they were impressed. And I noticed they engaged you in conversation and asking, you questions. How long you been doing this? And they were complimentary. They were complimenting you back and forth when different nurses came in, and even when the midwife came through, you got compliments because of your attentiveness with your client that you were working with. So tell me, what challenges do new mothers most often face in the first weeks after childbirth? Because I know sometimes after childbirth you're there also.
Yes. So a lot of times during those your body just knows, your mind just knows, and a lot of times we have to pause and think about the fact that giving birth is similar to running a marathon. There's training, but there's also that coming down afterwards. And those first few weeks, you're still coming down from that high of giving a birth. So ask for help. Find your doula, find your support person, find somebody that is going to not be judgmental, but be very supportive of your journey, that can kind of recognize, hey, you seem a little blue, a little sadder than usual, or hey, it's okay not to know. Here are some resources. But yeah, definitely do not try to go it alone. And even your spouse, I mean, this may be their first time. Your support person, whoever you have supporting you, this may be their first time supporting a new mom. So yes, they can help grab things from the refrigerator and help make sure you get your shower, but they still may not know some of the things that you have questions for. Contact your medical provider. That's why they're there. There are no such things as stupid questions. Develop that relationship with them early on. But ask all the questions.
That's good because we were military, and when you came along, I'll share your father. He was actually in another state, work on in school, and so I was with my brother, and then I went home to my mom, and so your community may and may not be there, and that's the next question I was going to ask you. What are practical ways that a spouse, a grandparent, or a friend, or even a church community can support a new family? What are some practical ways they can receive the support that they need?
So, I one of the things that I like best is the meal train. Because there's so much work during labor and delivery, and then just taking care of this new baby. It's funny, we joke about it. They give you this baby, you've never seen this baby before, and they say, go home. That's, and you're like, what do I do with it? What do we do here? So there's a ton of parenting books, but there's no manual specific to this child that you just brought home. So it's the community bringing those meals, because the mom is going to need to eat. And because she's tired, she may not feel like getting up to eat, or depending on what type of labor she had. If she had a C-section, if she had a vaginal delivery, there may be some pain, some scarring, so she may not be able to move as quickly. So having those meals ready so that the husband is not spending hours trying to figure out what to cook, because a lot of households, the wife is the one prepping the meal, and if she's not prepping the meal, she's kind of deciding on the meal. The brain capacity to take care of this baby and figure out what we're going to eat at the same time can be a little challenging. They talk about brain fog during pregnancy. It doesn't disappear after you deliver the baby. So give yourself some time, after that. But the community, just not just like asking, how can I help you? But can I come and mop your floor? Can I bring you a meal? Can I watch your kids if you have other children? But just finding ways to kind of think of things that the mom may have been doing before she gave birth, and how can you plug in those areas? And I hold the baby for a few minutes while you go take a shower. Obviously you want to make sure their hands are clean and that it's somebody that you trust, similar things like that. But if you're the one coming in, don't be offended. They tell you wear a blanket. No, I don't want your outside clothes against my baby. Don't be offended if they tell you to wash your hands and have you doing a doctor scrub or you going down to the elbows. Just, be prepared mentally that, this is a sanitized environment. We want to keep the baby as healthy as possible. And the easiest way to spread germs is often from outside. People come to visit, so be mindful of what you have going on before you come in. And if you know that you might have some things going on, send a meal. And if you're not cooking it yourself, send a gift card. Here's a $50 gift card to Olive Garden, $30 gift card to Applebee's, and they can go and order a Grubhub gift card. You choose wherever you want to go. But yes, meal train is one of my favorites.
That's excellent. That is excellent, especially the gift card. Because, like for me, for instance, I know I wouldn't have time to come over and fix you a meal, but I could send you a gift card to Grubhub, like you just said, and then you can order whatever meal you want. And so that's excellent. You all make a note of that. Gift cards are great for new moms or mothers all together when they come home from the hospital after having a baby. And I want to ask you a question to go kind of like with that. What would you want every first time parent to know? Because when you first have a baby, you're kind of scattered. What would you want them to know? First time moms.
Plan for postpartum while you're pregnant. Because a lot of times we're very much focused on the pregnancy. Am I getting my vitamins? Am I walking? Am I getting my water? Is my support person on board? Are they ready? Do I have my birth plan written out? You're gonna have the baby, and you need to know what you want to do after the baby. So what do I do with my kids if I have additional, you have other kids? What do I do with them while I'm taking care of the new baby? But I really cannot overemphasize plan for after the birth, because more often than not, many of the people that are, oh, you're so beautiful, you're glowing, can we, like, your baby is just beautiful, just all the wonderful things while you're pregnant, and right after delivery, they go back to their life and they're not checking on you as often. So you need to have a plan of a few people that you can tap on, as well as how we're going to keep meals going. Some people do freezer meals so that they're ready afterwards. So just kind of plan ahead as much as possible. What things will I be least interested in doing or have less capacity to do till the baby is here? So I think that would be the biggest thing.
Yeah, these are some great suggestions, Coach Ruseena. And this leads me to my next question that I want to ask you. How can we speak about pregnancy and childbirth and postpartum struggles with family members or without being judged? Because it's very sensitive. It even could be a loss. You could have had a pregnancy loss. How can we speak to people or loved ones, someone we know, about that without feeling condemned or without feeling that they're going to be judgmental towards us? Because you do have some blues after you have your baby sometimes, and sometimes people think, oh, she's just complaining, and so it makes you not want to share. How can we speak about that where it doesn't seem like we're being uh, overbearing or frustrated all the time? What can we how can we talk about it?
So to confirm, you're speaking from the mother's perspective, correct?
Yeah, from the mother's perspective, how would she be able to talk to people about what she's going through? You're going through those postpartum blues and you're afraid to talk to someone because you feel like they may be a little bit judgmental.
Pick your people before you give birth. Let them know I may be calling on you. This is new to me. Like, it could be baby 2 or 3. Every child is different. I just, if you don't mind being a sounding board, give a disclaimer. Hey, I just need to talk through this. Sometimes the only person we've had to talk to is the baby. There's been no other adults in the room with you for hours because the husband has gone off to work, or whoever your support people, if it's your mom, your grandma, whoever it is, they have to go on with their things or they're not able to be there around the clock. So, and the baby can't talk back yet. So you're really just, listening to yourself talk. So find a friend, an associate, a co-laborer that can be your sounding board. Let them know, hey, I have a few questions. And I mean, the birth doula should be able to also provide resources for postpartum. There's a ton of resources in the community. Look up your local community resources for birth, labor, and delivery. The WIC department, Department of Social Services, has a lot of tools that you don't have to qualify for WIC to use. And a lot of people don't realize that because you think of government assistance, you think I have to be low income or I have to do this. These classes are free. They're available. They help with lactation support. I mean,
Oh, wow,
they
that's
have a lot of
good.
things available.
That is excellent. And that's what we need to know about the things that are available because a lot of times when you're expecting, you're so busy concentrating on having the baby, having a healthy baby, that sometimes you overlook other avenues that are available to you. So that's wonderful. So it's almost time to wrap it up. But what should we do if someone hear you and they say, hey, I like what she's doing? What are the resources that we would go to? Where would we go to find out how we could become a doula?
That's a good question. There's several places available that are certifying. One of the most well known, like I mentioned, Dona International, is where my mentor doula is under, but she also has her own organization called the Natural Way Birthing Project, and she travels internationally and she trains people. So a lot of times you can look and she'll say, heading to Argentina, to Georgia, heading to Australia. She's traveling and she's training people on how to be a doula. There is the birthing project, there's birthing from within. So it's pretty much what I've done several times because every state has different rules. But there's some that are universal, right? So find out what's universal, find out what the rules are for your state, but get on Google and kind of parse through the information. Usually you'll find a short blurb about each one and find which one connects most with you.
Okay.
Because
Wow, that's
friendly, and if
good.
that's not your thing,
Mm-hmm.
want to handle that.
Okay.
So just, kind of line up with that and then look at what they provide. Will they provide a community for you to learn in after you get certified, or you kind of push out on your own after you get certified? Some of us need a team so until we get comfortable. But some of us like to just, all right, I got it, let's go. I'm going to go rule the world, you know? But yeah, Donor International, Natural Way Birthing Project. Let's see the name of the
Can you
campus.
say that again a little bit slower? The different organizations. Can you say that a little bit slower?
Donna, Doulas of North America, um, the Natural Way Birthing Project, Royal Doula Academy. Those last two are people that I've trained under. Um, Kappa, Childbirth and Postpartum Professional Association. Then look in your local community. Seen several. I am in the Chester Richmond area. Seen a couple of organizations. They will have cohorts, and you can sign up for training as it matches your schedule.
Oh, wow, that's good. That's very good. So tell me one thing you would like for everyone to take away about a doula. What's the one thing you want to make sure that we take away from this conversation?
I want people to know that we are definitely here to support you. We're not here to take over. We're not here to take the place of your support person. We will even teach your support person how to support you or some tips and things to support you. But you are the one leading the show. We're just bringing our expertise to enhance the things that you already know and to drop in some information that you may not have thought about.
Okay, and I would like for you to also, we'll post you all in the chat the different organizations that Ruseena mentioned, and also know when she say that she's talking about the expecting parent. She's talking about the mother when she says you. Ruseena, how would someone get in touch with you? What would we do to reach out to you?
You can start with my Facebook page. You can message me there. I'm more of a text messenger type of person than a phone call. But yes, start with my messenger page. I mean, my Facebook page. It's Tenacity Sajo. So just the tenacity, then SAJO. And you'll find me on there. You can send me a message, ask questions. I'm real big on childbirth education. Um, there's nothing like walking in informed and knowing and having the tools in your hand. We don't go anywhere else without some type of tool in our hand and some type of research and some questions. But when we come to our medical providers, we just trust them to do it, right? But if we're picking a bank, we've done a little research, right? If we're picking a school for our kids, we've done a little research. Do the same with this.
Excellent. Walk in with information. And that's important. Have the right questions to ask your doctor. And if you have a doula, if you desire a doula, Christina has given you a wealth of information. And then you can always reach out to her. And she just shared how you can reach out to her. Remember, she's a text person and a email person. I guess Facebook person. And that's the best way for you to reach out for her. And she said it's Tenacity Sajo, Sago. That you can reach out, where you can reach out to her on Facebook. Well, Ruseena, I am so happy to have you here tonight. Again, Coach Ruseena is my daughter, my oldest daughter, and I am so proud. As you know, Dr. Devetta, she co-host. She used to be my co-host. Then she got married and had children, you all. And so she went away for a little while, but she's coming back. And I also have our co-host, April Ohas, and she's celebrating her birthday. Isn't that a wonderful thing? However, we're so happy to have Coach Ruseena in tonight and to share with you all about the doula because it's so important for our mothers. Remember, Ruseena, do you have any statistics on the birth rate of African American parent women or anything on the birth rate of babies for African Americans? Because that was one of the things that drew her here.
I did not get the most updated statistics, but I do know that our infant and maternal mortality rate is higher than any other community. Birth professionals, medical professionals are trained, literally trained, to believe that we have a higher pain tolerance. So they often do not believe us when we speak up about what's going on with us during labor and delivery. Serena Williams, if her husband wasn't there, may have bled out. She knew exactly what was going on with her body. She knew what would have helped it, but they did not listen to her. So nobody's exempt from needing an advocate, unfortunately. But again, get to know your medical staff, interview your hospital, because that is not everybody's experience, but you definitely want to go in prepared.
Exactly. I remember reading about that with Serena. I was like, she told them over and over again, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. And they didn't listen. But when her husband spoke up, they listened. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us in the Haven. And we had some technical difficulties, but we will make sure this is posted and we'll make sure that everyone gets to hear this great news and know that this is a very important position, especially for our mothers, and I'm saying our African American mothers because I'm African American and I care about our African American mothers and the little babies. They're missing out also because they don't have the right care at birth. Well, God bless everyone. Have a wonderful weekend, and we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks in the Haven. And any last minute words for Cena before we close out?
Stay informed. Healthy baby, healthy mama is definitely the outcome.
All right. Healthy baby, healthy mama. I like you said mama. All right. God bless everyone. Have a good night. Thank you for joining us in the Haven tonight. Bye bye.